Good morning, everybody. Hello again and welcome. This is Taz from the Active Wellbeing Society. I'm here on another sensory walk today, and I'm at the Christchurch Centre here in Summerfield, the Christchurch behind me, with a guest who's going to introduce himself shortly. But I just want to give it a few minutes for our viewers to come online. So let's see those numbers going up, please. Hello Active Wellbeing Society. Hello Megan, and hello those who are watching. Before we start, the purpose of our videos is to get out and connect with communities virtually, to show you that you can still be active on these lovely days like this when you're out with your buddy up, like I am, one person that we're allowed to meet and go for exercise, or your family immediate bubble as well. You can also go out individually, obviously, so that's fine. Please do share this video. There's a share button at the bottom here, and hopefully that will then go to all your contacts and they can join in and join us virtually today as well. The video will also be saved after the live ends, so we can then share it on. So if you've got any questions or comments for myself and my guests, you can still put them into the comment section. We will be observing the comments later on, and we'll get back to you with any answers that you've asked or any other information that you want to know about us. Hi Lulu, nice to see you. Thank you, Lulu. So further ado, this is Winston Green, and we're near Ladywood, Winston Green, North Edgbaston, so all these areas are nearby, and we're in this lovely spot now. So I'm going to turn it to my guests. We've got 7-8 viewers. The viewers are going up. Great. So let's turn the camera and our guest can introduce himself. So,
well, good morning everybody. Yeah, we're here in Summerfield, North Edgbaston as some people call it. My name is Tim Aho. I'm with Companions for Hope. You probably are wondering, that's a rather strange surname, and it is actually. Aho is a Finnish word. That's where my roots come from Finland. Lots of people immigrated from Finland into Minnesota, where I grew up almost 60 years ago, believe it or not. And Tammy and I have been here with Companions for Hope in Summerfield for the last 5 years, but we moved to England 27 years ago. We lived in Shirley and did some work in Dickens Heath, which we'll maybe describe a little bit later, but have now been in Summerfield, living on Rotten Park Road for the last 5 years, and we're just delighted to be here.
Fantastic, thank you.
Yeah.
So I met Tim over at this building behind, which is it's part of the Christchurch here Memorial Hall, and you've created a lovely community there where we can come along, meet people, and get to know each other. Unfortunately, all that's on hold because of coronavirus. But explain to us a little bit about what that was.
Yeah. So Companions for Hope is a local community of followers of Jesus, and we all came into some of us have lived in the community. A couple of families, ourselves and Sam and Rosalie, who live across the street here. We decided to move into this area and start a group, Companions for Hope, and we just started trying to figure out, well, what's already happening in the community. One of the things we really believe in terms of living out what it means to follow Jesus is that you're engaged in the community, showing care and concern, and doing that in a very active way. And so we didn't think that it was all about us coming in and doing new things. Actually, we wanted to identify all those good things that are already happening in the community and join some of those. And so there's some of those we'll talk about, I think, through the course of the walk. But one of the things we identified is that it's always a good thing to gather people around food and gathering neighbors around food. So in our homes to begin with, we started what we called Neighbour Night. And we'd be at Sam and Rosalie's or our house, and over a period of time it became apparent that probably we should expand this and find something different. So we proposed to the Summerfield Residents Association, which the chair lives on this road, and to Incredible Surplus, which used to be called the Real Junk Food Project, and to Christchurch Summerfield. Let's do something together that will gather people around food and be able to think about what's happening in the community, share good news stories of things that are happening in the community, and get to know the neighbors. And so Neighbour Night was born. We met here from 6 to 8 on first Wednesday of the month, and we'd had regularly 50 to 70 people as we kind of built up steam. and incredible surplus provided the food, a cook, and other people would bring some cakes and teas and coffees and so on as well, and people just have conversation around a table. And we have a saying that we use. It's not original to me, but meeting without eating is cheating.
Great
and,
phrase.
And there's something that wonderful happens when you gather around food. There's something that creates a cohesion, a bondedness. In fact, the word companions, and one reason why we chose the word companions in Companions for Hope, is that it means ones who eat bread together. And so eating bread together, eating a meal together is a really good thing. And so we started Neighbor Nights here with the 4 groups, and well, like everybody else, COVID hit, and we had to go online, and we did that for quite some time, and then took a break last autumn, but we recommenced at Christmas time in December, and so Neighbor Night still meets on Wednesday evenings virtually.
Yeah, I've joined it
on the
as
first
well.
Wednesday of the month, and so the next one will be February.
March.
Yes, March. I think it's March 3rd.
March
so
the 3rd,
I don't have my diary in front of me.
Yes,
and,
it's the 3rd.
You know, when you're in lockdown, you kind of lose track of the dates anyway. So look at your diary, and it'll be the first Wednesday in March. And if you want to know more about that, just send a note in the Companions Facebook page, and we'll make contact and provide you the details of that. So we started meeting here, and Neighbor Nights has really been a diverse gathering of people from the community, and getting to know your neighbors, and that's got to be a good thing. I think it's always a good thing to know some of your neighbors and to encourage one another, and especially a lockdown with some of the things we've all been facing. Having a friendly smile, a friendly face, even if it's on Zoom.
It's so important.
It's still a good thing.
Yeah,
it's still a good thing to encourage one another. Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you, Tim. And just to show you this, we've got lovely green space here as well, so you can see some planters there. So when we were allowed to meet, I'm sure there was some growing going on, encouraging that for your well-being as well. So lovely space there, and lovely garden. I'm just going to show the building behind, the church behind.
Yeah, just a note about these planters. So our friend Sam, one of the companions, and he proposed to Christchurch, hey, that space was just unused. He said, and Sam is great at finding things that can be upcycled.
Yeah, he's brilliant. He's
and he
amazing.
found those boxes at some place over in an industrial state, and they were essentially containers for some sort of equipment. And he said, "Can I have those?" And he repurposed them, and they planted this little community garden. So people plant vegetables and herbs and so on over there, and it looks like it needs a little bit of spring attention, but you know, in due course as spring comes.
Absolutely. When spring comes, we can get them planting again. I'm just going to have a look at some of the comments before we start walk. So Luli says, looks lovely, can hear the bird songs. Yeah, definitely beautiful. What a beautiful morning. Sean Harding, morning Taz. Morning Sean. Thanks for joining in, guys. Please do share. So we're going to start our walk from here, and we're going to go through into Summerfield Park. And then we're going to go and have a little chat as we walk. So we're just two buddies out on a walk, keeping us socially distanced and enjoying being active, on this beautiful morning. We've had a couple of days of very extreme cold weather, but today's absolutely lovely. Just a light jacket and you're out, you're getting your heart rate up, you're going for that little walk, whether it's a sensory walk or a physical walk, health walk, whatever you choose to do. Today we're going to go on a simple walk and talk. And then I forgot to start my watch. I always try and track my walks as well, so people like to remember those walks. So let me just start that. Tim, before we get going, and hopefully that watch will buzz. There it is, buzzing, so it's ready. So off we go. So we're going to cross over safely. And
we're just crossing Gillett Road here, and one of the things about this neighborhood that I really like is that there's a diversity to this community, which is amazing. Some of you have heard the word about super diverse.
Yeah. So
this area is not quite super diverse because by definition that means there's no majority ethnicity, but we know in Smethwick next door there's 154 languages spoken.
Wow.
And that's just down the road from here. And similarly, this area is known for its HMOs, for asylum seekers and immigrants, refugees that have moved into the area, housed here, people who have been trafficked. There's people who have been, women particularly, who have been abused in this area.
To the west gate, so you can see the west
Yep.
gate.
Yep.
So there's the entrance. So all we've done is cross over one road, and we're in the beautiful Summerfield Park entrance. Apologies. So
Yeah.
as you mentioned, Winston Green is where I grew up as well, and my school, the old school, is now Oasis Foundry, but it used to be called Foundry Primary School.
Yeah, I was governor there for a bit.
Oh yeah. Well, I went there. I haven't been there for a long time, and I went in there about 3 years back when Angie was working there, and I saw the sign saying 54 languages spoken here.
Yeah.
I was amazed at 54 languages. But you've just said Smedic down the road has more now, so
Yeah.
it's amazing. And I'm just going to stop you here because as soon as you walk in, I'm going to turn to the park. So this park, Summerfield Park, is lovely. Tree-lined paths. It's got paths that you can cut across to the park. But what I like to do is I like to walk through this little section here, the wooded section. So it's something new maybe. We're going to have a little stroll through some of this section here. Let's go around. Make sure we're not stepping on anything that's planted. Oh yeah, let's go.
Or anything that's been dropped by the local pooches.
Yeah. So yeah, I like to just go off the beaten track, as they say, away from all the other traffic, gather your thoughts and enjoy the day and take in some of those sensory elements.
Yeah.
So I'm already hearing the bird song. I've got this green, my eyes are just full of green now, and we're looking for signs of spring as well, Tim.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about your journey and
So one of the reasons why I love living in this area with this diversity is because I grew up in a little farming community in rural Minnesota. It was the county seat. Minnesota is known as a land of 10,000 lakes. Over 1,000 of those lakes were in the county that I lived in. So lots of water sports. Grew up playing ice hockey. Still love ice hockey.
Is that one of the ice hockey caps?
No, this is not it, but this is part of the story as well.
Yeah.
I never dreamed that I would live in a place as diverse as this. You know, diversity in rural Minnesota was: are you of Norwegian ethnicity or heritage?
Yeah.
Are you Swedish? Are you German? Or are you Finnish? That was about the extent of it. And somebody from another country was somebody from the state of North Dakota, which was an hour away. So my story is essentially, as I graduated from high school and then went to local community college studying engineering, that was a time in my life, without talking about all the details, I had a bit of a dysfunctional family growing up. And there was a point, this is my story, where essentially God got a hold of me and began to open my horizons, and I ended up going from this rural community after 2 years of studying engineering and teaching conversational English in Japan for almost a year.
Wow.
Yeah, I can remember going to the airport and going through the metal scanner to begin with, and just being scared to death because I'd never been through, one of those scanners before.
Yeah.
But that then just opened things up, and so when I got back from Japan, I moved out to Oregon to go to university. Met Tammy there, got married, our son was born there. Then moved to Arizona, lived there a year doing an internship in a local church there. And then moved to East Tennessee, lived there for a year, then led a church in Virginia for 4 years, and then 2 years the other side of Virginia before we moved to England here in 1994. So we had some cross-cultural experience in.
Sweat your feet a bit, muddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you haven't got suitable footwear, we'll go back on the path. Yeah, just a bit boggy. I had some morning rain. Apologies. Carry on with that.
Yeah.
That's your story.
So, you can't, believe it or not, you can't have cross-cultural experience in America just by living in different parts of the states. And so we got that, but moving here was, obviously a big thing for our family. And our children were 6 and 8. We moved here, and we were asked to work with a group of churches to help start new churches. So that's what we did in a new build area in Shirley called Dickens Heath. We helped start a church there with colleagues and friends. Then we experimented with another simple form of church that was more home-based, and then we moved into Summerfield and started Companions for Hope with our friends Sam and Rosalie, and just to see what we could do in this community to join what all the good things already happening, and as well as develop leaders, develop people, encourage people. So that's a little bit of story. We've been in England, as I said, 27 years. We got our British citizenship, I'm trying to remember, I think it's 4 years ago now. We took a little time to do that. But, you know, for somebody who grew up in a rural community in a town of 12,000 people, that's the biggest place within 40 miles, to be living in the big city.
Yeah, big city.
I mean, even moving from where we were in Shirley into the inner city, that was a big change. I never dreamed I'd ever live in an inner city, but here I am, here we are, and loving it, and loving being part of the community and all its diversity.
Oh, fantastic. So we're just going to take a little left here. I'm going to come onto the path now. We're going to head towards Dudley Road. We're going to do a little lap of this park as we're walking and talking. Those who don't know this park, it's a wonderful space. You know, it's lovely. It's a 1 mile. If you go around the outer bits of the path here, that's 1 mile. I marked it out because I do running here with some running groups locally. So we do come and use the paths here. And I also come here with my bike because it's got lovely paths and cycling paths as well. So I'm just going to head towards the Dudley Road side of the park. So that's wonderful. That's your bit of background of where you were, and then your work in Dickens Heath. And then when did you come to Rotten Park then?
Yeah, so we actually came to Handsworth New Road to beginning in August of 2016. Then we moved into Rotten Park Road in April of 2017.
So tell us about the time at the was it New Biggin House?
New Biggin House, yeah. So it's
tell us who New Biggin are first as well, because it wasn't New Biggin then, was it? No.
It was actually a Church of England parsonage, still is as far as that goes. And Leslie Newbigin was a man who worked in India for many years as a Christian and church leader, came back to England, and actually lived and worked. There's where the prison car park is now, there was a United Reformed Church, and he was minister of that church. And when he came back to England, he said, "Now, England is not the England I grew up in." And the church really needs to look differently at the community than it used to be. And so he did a lot of writing, a lot of encouraging, and so he's been an inspirational figure for Christians, particularly in this community, as someone who said we got to think differently and about how we are part of the community. So so that sort of thing is what we're passionate about. And coming to Rotten Park Road into Summerfield, I mean, even crossing Dudley Road right here.
Yeah, let's just turn the camera so we know where
our friends online will see.
Yeah, so we're just going to come up to Dudley Road, and you've got the community centre across there, and this used to be the old police station here as well. I've got fond memories of coming here with my family because I live locally, right by the New Biggin Church, as you just mentioned, New Biggin House. Sorry. Yeah. So I'm a local lad as well, born and raised in Winston Green. Lots of fun memories.
I just learned that I've met Taz's dad.
Yeah, and my dad's had he's a small business owner, had a business here for a long time, and he's a prominent part of the community here. People do know him and know the family, so it's always great to be back home here. So nice to see you. Let's see who's online before we carry on. Janet, hi Janet, thanks for joining us. The church does look lovely, and I do recommend you go and visit this area. It's all about retracing our steps. Maybe do this walk. Maybe I can share you my little map of my walk later as well. So sorry, I carry on with that story there.
I forgot the story, but you might want to just show the
we're gonna
see that in a minute.
Yeah, okay. The bandstand. We're gonna come down the path.
Yeah.
So there's a bandstand, lovely bandstand there. Unfortunately, it's got barriers around it that it's not safe to use at the moment. But if they can restore the form and glory of that bandstand, that's probably got a lot of history and a lot of stories behind it as well. Just like the Handsworth Park one, which is magnificently restored as well. And
I think I was saying that the Dudley Road here, that So this is actually Winston Green, and
Yeah.
some people might call this the Winston Green High Street, but it's never called that by
No.
anybody. But it's the Dudley Road. City Road Hospital is just on the right. The new Metropolitan Hospital is going to be down the way, and it looks like they're making some good progress on it after construction stopped for almost 2 years, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just the diversity down this road is amazing. So you can get your curries, you can get balties, you can get your kebabs, you can get your fish and chips, you can get curry goat, you can get anything vegetarian, Afro-Caribbean. Yeah, so the list goes on down here.
There's a dosa village back there as well, so if you have vegetarian dosas as well.
Yeah,
So
I've thought several times, I should go to every restaurant and takeaway down here, but I think it would take me too long, and I would gain way too much weight.
So talking about weight gain, and how do you keep active then, Tim? And are you encouraging activity as well as part of your neighborhood nights?
Yeah, it's so with Neighbor Nights, obviously one of the things we do is we bring everybody together and saying, here's opportunities. We flag them, we signpost them, and so on. I mean, personally, ice hockey is my sport. I played recreationally.
Yeah.
When we moved to England for many years, I made a switch to refereeing about 5 years ago. Obviously, there hasn't been any ice hockey and any refereeing for the last year. I'm affected by gyms being closed. Yes, they're still walking on the res. I think I'm probably like a lot of people that when winter hits, the exercise, without a gym, the exercise goes down, and that certainly has affected me. Part of my personal story is that 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago now, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I had surgery. I've got the all clear.
You can just go up to the owl just to show our viewers, any children watching.
Yeah.
Sorry, and carry on with that. So
So I got the all clear with that. Last year I had 7 retinal tears, so when those are being treated for laser and you're recovering from that, you can't do physical exercise. So that's been a factor for me. So
but your physical activity background, for your sporting background, has kept you in shape, and you're out. So you're enjoying enjoying these local green spaces as well.
Yeah, and one thing I'm trying to do instead of just walking on my own is say, hey, like a friend who lives in the neighborhood, Scott. So Scott, let's go for a walk this week. So we're in the process of getting that in the diary, and trying to do things with others. Obviously, you can only do it with one person. You have to be socially distanced. But it's still better to try to do exercise with another person if you can. So you get encouragement that way, and then you catch up with people. So walking. Taz mentioned an idea earlier about starting a new walking group, and when regulations permit, I think that's a great idea, and I want to know more about that, and maybe I can help with that too.
Definitely, we'll work together on that. That would be great. So it's great that you're looking after your health. You've come through some challenges, but you're out, you're active, and you're encouraging activity as well. I've just come to this owl now. So for our viewers, a few years ago we had the Big Hoot Trail around Birmingham, which encouraged people to go out and walk and find the trail and do these activities, and I loved it. I was really into the Big Hoot Trail. I brought the children out and we came, and this one represents Winston Green, so I thought we'd stop here and show you Papa Winston. So this is Papa Winston, and then along the sides you're going to see some artist impressions of some of the people here. So we've got Matthew Bolton here on the left, and you see Matthew Bolton there, prominent figure of Birmingham. We've got some of the arts around here, some of the looks like the old metro, the tram system. There's a canal boat, because we are very near the Soho Loop as well, which we do activities along, and we've done a video on the Soho Loop already, and we'll be doing another video soon with a person I've invited to that. So let's read what it says here. Do you want to read that out for our viewers?
Yeah, owls are so strange. You cannot keep them in a cage. They do not like the light. They sleep all day and hunt by night, looking for shrews and mice. They live in a hollow of a tree or barn and never do anyone any harm. And that's by Edna. Well done, Edna. That's a great poem.
Thank you, and thank you for everyone that's worked on this lovely art piece.
We suppose that's a reference to the Tower Ballroom and the
Ballroom,
dancing they used to do. Yeah.
Irish Spurts, if you're watching, that's a reference to the old Tower Ballroom memories. There's a canal, I think that's the old Edgbaston tunnel there, maybe. Yeah. You've also got some references to the different cultures here as well. You've got the doll player there, William Murdoch. We discussed William Murdoch on a previous video that I've walked with Legacy West Midlands Rachel West, who's a really a knowledgeable lady and told us some lovely things. And James Watt, obviously. There's James Watt's primary school, which my nieces go to, just down the road from my father's place as well. So James Watt's prominent figure. So this is a great spot, and behind Tim there, you've got the Birmingham Park and Nurseries Summerfield Depot here, and that's a lovely spot as well. Maybe one day I can get permission to go in and film there, but I've grew up all my life here, but I never have the pleasure of going in there. But now that we've got some links with the Birmingham Parks Department, so maybe we can go out and do a sensory walk around there one day.
Yeah, it's the walking aspect is actually really important. So besides Companions for Hope, Tammy and I are involved in training leaders and developing leaders, and one of the things we do is that we bring people in from other countries. To date, they've mostly been from America, but we give them training over 10 months to help them know how to get to know their community. We coach and mentor them so that they can go someplace else in the world, do something similar. And one of the bits of instruction we give is, if you want to get to know your community, walk in your community.
Yeah.
Because when you drive in your community, you don't see most of your community, and it just becomes something you pass through. And there's something about walking slowly, or maybe even at a pace.
Yeah, and stopping and noticing as well.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
When you're busy with your life, you don't stop and notice things.
So just the owl. I've walked past that owl 100 times, but that's actually the first time I've stopped and looked that closely. And like, that is amazing. That is amazing. So, and there's something about walking. You know, if you're a friendly person like me, I say hello to everybody.
Yeah, I do as well.
And you know, some people have their ear pods in and they don't respond. Other people are walking, and but you can find yourself in conversation with people if you're a bit on the brave side. Yeah. But I'm an extrovert, so introverts wouldn't do very well with that. But you learn things about the community by walking that you wouldn't otherwise. So
absolutely, yeah. That's what I always find on the videos is, if you stop, you pause, you take a moment, and you know, this is your half an hour, 45 minutes or an hour of your walk where you're escaping from everything. So you're hoping to drop all the busy life, and then we're gonna go this way, I think. Okay. So I'm just gonna tell you a little story here, because I grew up here, as I said, and this used to be our old football pitch here. So this little stretch here, right here, originally was a bowling green, and then we got this used, so we turned into a little 5-a-side or 7-a-side football pitch. So that used to be our place. Just children from the local area coming together, and now those children are all grown men. They've probably got children of their own, like my age now, and it's great that they still come and they still play. So I see, well, before COVID obviously hit, every Sunday the lads will be out here, and now encouraging their children to do the same as we did as we were children as well.
I can see where this would have been a bowling green just by but I never knew that, so that's new information for me.
Brilliant. And they've got, we didn't mention, there's lovely tennis courts there. There are people playing behind, and those have been recently restored, and those tennis courts and the multi-games use area just behind the hedge here is a fantastic spot for you to come on a beautiful day like this, get the old tennis rackets out, and one-on-one, if you're allowed to do that activity now in COVID. I'm not so sure which activities you're allowed to do, but I know that we can definitely go on our walk together. So that's what we're doing, and we're coming up to the old bandstand. We'll show you that. But so Tim, New Biggin, we got to New Biggin.
Yeah, so then we came into Summerfield.
Yeah, Summerfield.
And so again, one of the things that we really believe in is that there's good things happening in the neighborhood already. How can we support and encourage? Neighbor Nights is one thing we started new, but every one of the couples or individuals and Companions for Hope are doing something active in the neighborhood. So one couple helps with Iranians who have moved into the country, and helps them with getting settled and other issues that they come across. Another couple does started Eat, Make, Play and all the activities there, and I think we'll probably mention a few of those as we go along the way.
Just going to show the building here. So come on. So yeah, Eat, Make, Play. We're going to get to that as well.
The Caris Neighbor scheme is another thing that one of our companions involved in.
Nets.
Yeah. Yep.
Is, and very active on the neighborhood network scheme there.
Yeah, and there's another group that started that we helped organize back in November called Good News Central. So it's essentially some of the churches in the community, Ladywood, Summerfield, and so on, that are just cooperated together to do some good things around Christmas. And I just actually suggested to a couple of the others that helped lead it that maybe it'd be a good idea to do a virtual Easter egg hunt or virtual Easter scavenger hunt. So if you've got an interest in that, let us know. And
definitely. So anyone watching, has anyone done any geocaching hunts and trails? Yeah. So maybe you can turn it into a geocache hunt, or I know that over at the new Icknield Port, the housing there. So they've got the cafe they had an event called Eat Out, Play Out Till Tea.
Okay, yeah.
That was a lovely event. But they did a trail recently around the reservoir. So Daniel Blyden from I can get some information if you need some. They use an app called Goose Chase.
Okay.
Yeah, so they created a lovely little trail there. So we've just stopped at the this is the old bandstand now building. It's fortunately it's not looking the best of wear at the moment, but hopefully we can restore. I'm just going to do a quick lap around here, Tim, and I'll come back round to you just to show our viewers this building here. Now, Active Parks and Park Lives used to do a great session outdoors using some of this bandstand space here, either onto the bandstand itself, and you can see the 1907. If you can just make it out there, 1907. Now, Handsworth Park's got a lovely bandstand that's been restored. So if we can restore this one, it'd be absolutely brilliant for the community. At the moment, we used to use this spot out here to do the dance fitness and the Zumba from Park Life. So Maxine, our instructor, comes out and does some activities there. So that's where we are. We're going to head down this path now, and we're going to head towards the Salvin Road exit of this park. Yes, Susan, it might be a local artist. We'll find out about that artist who's created Papa Winston maybe, and I can leave some details in the chat here.
Yeah. I'd like to know. Yeah, so some of the good things that are happening in the neighborhood, and probably other things, at other times you've talked about some of these, but obviously our friend and colleague Sam is very active in Eat, Make, Play and the Share Shed.
Share Shack.
Share Shed. And out of that space, and even virtually now, are things like Eat, Make, Play, Stitch. So that's
Stitch Together, yeah.
Yeah, Stitch Together. So that's a group that is doing crochet or knitting together. My wife is a part of that on Thursday. There's the Eat, Make, Play, Grow, which, of course, anybody that knows Sam knows he's absolutely passionate about worms and plants and soil and so on. And that's on Wednesdays, I think at 12:30. I'm hoping to join that today for the first time. And Eat, Make, Play, Sing-a-ma-jig.
Sing together, yeah.
Sing together. So our friend Ellie, amazing. That's Saturday afternoons, I think, from 3 to 4. Is that right? 3 to 4?
Yeah. All this information is on the Active Wellbeing Society Facebook page, and we do share on all the great stuff that Eat, Make, Play do. So anyone watching wants to get involved, just scroll back through the post and find it on the Active Wellbeing Society page, and put it into your calendar, because these are great Zoom. They're Zoom classes as well, and they're Zoom events as well.
Yes, so, and our draft idea for the next Neighbour Night on the first Wednesday in March is to actually highlight for a few minutes Eat, Make, Play, Stitch, Grow, and Sing-a-ma-jig, and just get a flavor of those, because obviously with the way things are, yes, the days are starting to get longer, weather's improving a bit, but those kinds of activities.
Are we going to go out this way, or should we go out that way?
Well, this is
the quickest way. Yeah.
Yeah. The Selwyn one is down here. I mean, they're both really Selwyn, but we haven't been down that way yet.
Yeah, let's go that way.
So, And actually down this direction is
the Harbour Walkway
Yeah.
entrance. Yeah. So we've just kind of done a big loop around on mainly this main path, but you can see the inner path here that takes you to another children's play area over on that side of the park, which is down at the City Road, the corner of City Road and Salvin Road side there. And there's some lovely people that work along here. We need to say a big shout out to them. So we've got Neat and Shaban and Thomas who do some great litter picking work around the areas. We've got the We Shift Residents Association as well. And there you can see the church just behind Tim there. You can just cut through that. And lots of other ones. Any other ones that you know? I know that there's litter picking groups as well, like Norwood Gardens and Shenston Road. And
Friends of Harbour Parkway.
Yes, I've done a walk with
listen, if you don't get their newsletter, you should get their newsletter, because they put history of the area that is really fascinating.
Yes,
so
they do.
So they did a couple of issues on the old train line that ran through here, and fascinating, and with links to videos, so you can get more of the history of the area. But they encourage the litter picking in the community as well, with particularly in the park and the parkway itself, Harbour Parkway itself.
Yep. So
Walkway.
we've done a Century Walk video with Susanna Barefoot from the Friends of Harbour Walkway. So if you look back at some of the videos I've done, you'll learn a bit more about the Harbour Walkway. Morning. So this is the gate we came in through. Yeah. But this time we're going to go left. So we've done a big loop. Let's see how much we've covered.
Yeah, we could actually go down to Selwyn Road down here.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
And that'll take us past the entry to the start of the walkway.
Yeah.
And then we take the Selwyn Road entrance to the res. Sorry, Gillett Road. So this is Gillett Road over here.
Yeah. See, the children are just coming out with their tennis rackets, I can see. It's great to see. So it's half-term week and we are encouraging people to come out walking. Good morning.
Good morning.
And lots of people are walking already. It's nice to see that they're enjoying this wonderful time and this space here, Summerfield Park.
It's a lovely day today.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not raining.
No.
I brought my hat, so in case anybody was wondering what the hat is, it's that's the University of Oregon.
Ah.
So that's where I met my wife Tammy, and we lived there for 4 years. And I was one of those people that did university, 6 years of university, because 2 was not enough. Actually, I changed majors, but from engineering to cross-cultural ministry. And in America, university's 4 years rather than 3 like here.
Yeah. So Susan has put down, Tai Chi with tours here. Steve, before lockdown, was in this area of the park. Another sensory experience we're missing. And we are missing those sensory experiences, but
wasn't there Zumba or something like that at the
there's
Bandstand?
Zumba. I've mentioned that's a Zumba, but Tai Chi also with Steve. So yeah, all these things, fingers crossed, if we're allowed to restart any of these activities safely, either in bubbles or limited numbers, we'll let you know. But at the moment we're following the government guidelines and we're in a lockdown, so we're not allowed to restart those groups. But keep your eyes posted on the actual tours page, where we will be updating anything that should happen or any advice we've been given.
So one of
this gentleman, sorry, I'm going to put, this gentleman walks every day. I see him at the reservoir.
Every
day.
day,
Hello on the camera. Do you want to say hello on the camera now? Well, have a great walk. I'll see you at the reservoir on the Sunday. I know I haven't been for a couple of Sundays, but I'm back. This. I know. But we'll hopefully. Weather's better now, we'll get everyone out. Everyone was a bit scared of that cold weather that we had. Have a great walk.
That was the least of our worries, that one.
Keep inspiring me with your walking, and it's lovely to have a chat with you on the Sundays. Take care, buddy. So yeah, you meet some lovely, and like Tim said, I say hello to everyone as well. And you get to know people, and people get to know you, and they see you weekly. And even him realised that I haven't been for a couple of weeks, so he's not seen me there.
It's good to have people that kind of checking up on us.
Yeah.
So one of the groups that we're leading recently, we asked the question, have you noticed a change in what makes you happy before COVID and lockdowns and now? And a really fascinating set of fascinating responses to that. Most people had a different view of what makes them happy.
Yeah.
now than 12
Absolutely.
months ago.
Yeah.
And one thing that we did in the last Neighbour Night, which Taz led, was absolutely fantastic way to end our Neighbour Night. Was we were doing Taskmaster, and Taz said, "Can you pull up the last photograph you posted on Facebook before lockdown started?" And if you want to tell a story about that, go ahead.
Yeah, so we did a similar kind of thing for my work where we had a group and I was leading a little kind of breakout and a little kind of icebreaker. So I decided to find the last memory. The last memory. Sorry, we're going to let you use the path. Apologies.
We're doing all those technological things, you know.
Thank you. So yes, so we were trying to find the last memory and something positive. So positive stories. We're all about positivity. So we asked, well, I did some research and I found every member of my team's last post that they've picked and asked them to talk about it for a minute. And then we did something similar on the neighborhood night where I asked the people to go away a couple of minutes to find the last picture that they posted and just to tell us about that experience and what described the picture. And it was really nice because lots of positive stories came out. It was a nice way, like you said, to end our neighborhood night that day. So if you haven't done that, look back because those times will be coming back soon, guys. Stay positive, stay focused, and we'll have those moments back in our lives. Happy times.
So that little story to end that Neighbour Night is actually reminds me of one of the things we did with Good News Central back in December, and one of the reasons why we kind of gathered folks. We did an online carol service, and we actually encouraged people to phone or Zoom or FaceTime or message somebody they knew in the community that was isolated or feeling anxious by the whole set of COVID-19 restrictions. And I would say to you, if you're watching and you're feeling a bit isolated and lonely, that don't let somebody know.
We're just walking into the Edgbaston Reservoir entrance from the corner of Gillette Road and Salvin Road here. So all we've done is crossed one path. So as Tim was saying, if you're isolated and you found it struggle, please talk to people. Our community are here. There's food. We Active Wellbeing Society are doing food parcels. There's clothing. So if you are struggling to find clothing for yourself, your family, we've had tons of clothes that have been donated to us, and then we can get them out to people that need it. And just being at the end of these virtual classes and these programs, it's just keeping you connected. You don't have to do the activity if you don't want
After you, ladies.
but you can. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
So yeah, these activities that we do are to encourage you to stay connected, so you don't have to do the physical activity, but just seeing somebody, a friendly face at the end of the camera, or we also have the befriending service, so at the end of a telephone. These things are so important. So as Tim said, do not struggle alone. Reach out for help. Now I'm going to stop here because this is my favorite spot of the reservoir. So when I come to this bridge here, and then you got the city view. Now the city skyline has been changing over the years, and you might have noticed that, Tim, as well. There's lots of change, and the water level is so high now because of the rains that we've had recently, but the water levels at the reservoir were very low. So we're in the reservoir now, and we're just going to head towards this little area that we kind of do some growing and talk about that.
I love this part of the res walk at 5:30 on a summer morning.
Wow.
You know, the sun is already up, or it's starting to come up. And
So what direction does the sun rise from there?
Over here, this direction.
Over there. So right over the skyline.
Over the skyline, yeah.
What an amazing view that would be then.
And listen, I'll tell you, at 5:30 on a morning, there's not many people out here. So if you're looking to do a walk mostly on your own,
That would be a sensory experience.
It
You've
would
got
be.
the whole reservoir to yourself.
Absolutely. And this time of year, as we're coming up towards Easter and spring coming on, you'll start to see the crocuses and the daffodils coming up. And this is a beautiful walk. If you've not ever accessed this resource in this area, please come and check it out and have a walk around. Bring that one friend, so you're not doing it alone. You're doing exercise together, and you're catching up and expressing care for one another, because that's really important in these days.
Definitely. We've done a video of the reservoir as well, so you can look back on a previous sensory walk where we've done with Eva and Chris Vaughan. So you can look back at that and learn about the history, because Chris is very knowledgeable, as is Eva. And we've got some really good facts about here, especially the tightrope walker that walked across here, Blonton, his name is. He's got a little statue at the St. Vincent Street West, you know, on the highway there. There's a man, French man on a tightrope like this.
Yeah, that's Blondin.
That's it, Blondin, yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
So find out about Blondin.
Yeah. So just a story about Blondin. So some of you might recognize the name, as he's a tightrope walker. So there was a time in the 1800s, late 1800s, where they strung a cable across the reservoir, and he walked across the reservoir. And there's a story about him, actually. So he was doing a tightrope walk, and he asked people, I think this might have been over Niagara Falls when he did it over there. He said, do y'all believe I can do this? And people were saying, yeah, we believe. And he said, so who's going to let me walk them across?
Well, what was the response then? Everybody ran a mile.
Well, it's one of those things, you know, belief and trust. It's made real when you actually do it. Yeah. But that's true about a lot of things in life, isn't it? So maybe you don't believe in yourself that you can do something. Well, find somebody to help you, and when you actually do it with support, that's why Tammy and I believe a lot in coaching and mentoring. Coaching about actually doing something, mentoring about being encouraged and supported in that, from a mental health or spiritual point of view. You can do more than what you think you can do.
Yeah,
when you've got help.
Just on my side, guys, as you know, I'm all about walking and physical activity and running as well, but it's all about community as well. So we've created camaraderie with the groups, especially here at the reservoir, Sunday morning, Tuesday and Thursday evenings, and it's all about helping that person take the first steps. So I'm there as a resource, as a community asset for you to use. So if anybody needs to come out for a walk, pair up with me, as I've done today. Come for a walk, get in touch with me, reach out with me on Facebook. We also have volunteer run leaders and walk leaders that can help in your areas, you know. So once we're out of lockdown, we'll hopefully start our groups back where we can meet together. But in the meantime, do stay active. Come out and look at this wonderful space here. Recently refurbished the paths as well, so
yeah,
it's great.
So we're coming up to a piece of property that's actually owned by Birmingham Settlement, and this is where walking is important, because part of the development of this is because of Sam, and he can tell the story much better.
Yeah, I'm going to invite Sam out to do a video about Eat, Make, Play from the Share Shack. So I'm just trying to pin him down. He's so busy.
Yeah, he is.
And once I get that date in the diary, we'll
But this is where the kind of the combination of Neighbour Night and walking in the neighborhood made a difference, because this land, which everybody thinks is actually part of the reservoir, but it's actually been owned by this group called Birmingham Settlement in the city.
Yeah.
And they were wondering what to do with this spot, because it's been undeveloped, and we actually had the CEO of Birmingham Settlement come to one of our Neighbour Nights.
Coming through the path.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I also have linked with Martin, who's on the Edgbaston Consortium as well.
Yes. So Martin is actually the head of Birmingham Settlement.
Yeah.
And you know, the community events we've done on this space with Birmingham Settlement's permission.
Yeah.
So we've done. Well, I think that's another place where we met you with Active Wellbeing Society.
Yes, we've done an event here as well. So there's a couple of times I've been out here actually doing those events here on the field.
So Sam, with those connections and other neighborhood connections. So if you look.
Yeah.
If you look closely, you see a polytunnel.
Yeah, so let's get closer for our viewers.
Yeah.
So can you see through there, guys? The polytunnel there?
So we can't actually go on the space at the moment, because as you can see over here to the right, there's a building we developed. And years ago, there used to be a building there, and there was a fire back, I think in the early 80s it was. And this used to be used by local schools as a playing field. But now it's being developed as a community resource, and the building developed with some grants, I think, by Birmingham Settlement, will make this an area where things regarding to growing with
that area space over there, Sam's doing growing already. So we'll hopefully be bringing a video one day from that spot.
Yeah.
just to show you what takes place here.
So the whole idea is about developing this as a community resource, a community space, where there's lots of activities with growing things, community activities like what did we call that when we did that a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I've forgotten the term of
Yeah,
the
so
event.
we did a big. We had a barbecue out here. We had other community groups. It was like a summer fair, if you can describe it that way, and loads of people from the community, and it's just so much fun. But a space that can be used, but it's blocked off for the moment until they finish the construction on that building, and really excited about how this space is going to be a community resource in the future.
Yeah, so there's a lovely video about the event we're talking. The name slips my mind as well. Arts Coop and some of the other people that were involved have done a lovely video.
Yeah.
So we'll try and share that link to you on the comment section here. But behind Tim, there's a little exercise zone, and it's nice to see that people are using that. And there's some of the views across the reservoir over towards the Tower Ballroom. And it used to be the main car park entrance, which is now closed. But it's a lovely 2.5 kilometer, 1.5 mile, one lap around here. So good for you to know as a walker or a runner how much you are doing. So one lap will get you 1.5 miles or 2.5k, and our runners try and complete two laps to make it a 5k. And we have the wonderful space here. Usually on the Sunday morning we encourage people to come and be part of the community. You can walk it, you can jog it, you can do whatever you want. Bring the children, bring the dog, just come here. And before COVID we used to have Thomas with his lovely refreshments as well, and have a cup of tea and a biscuit as you walk around as well. So hopefully we can bring those days back soon, guys. But I think we're coming to the end, but I just want to take this moment now to let Tim say some final words about, because we haven't finished the whole story, have we, Tim? And we're coming up to the end of our video. So you've got 5 minutes if you want to tell us anything more about what Companions of Hope are trying to achieve further on, and anything else that you'd like to say.
So, well, as a community of people who follow Jesus, we're always looking to have spiritual conversations and help people along the way as they're trying to figure out meaning and purpose of life, as well as being involved in the community. I don't know, have you mentioned anything about the Edgbaston Reservoir development and what's happened over here?
I haven't, but Chris Vaughan has mentioned it in a previous video. But if you can mention that, and if you stand on here, I can get the background of that.
So obviously there was a development plan put together for the space the other side of the res there, and one of the things that was going to happen is that for the development they were going to tear down Oster Street Park, and actually one of our companions, Ali, who also leads something called Light Up B16, where we decorate windows at Christmas and Easter and Halloween and that sort of thing. She put a petition on board, and some of us actually then went and presented that petition to the councillors at Council House, and the result was that we saved the park.
Save Osler Street was a great campaign.
Yes,
I was part of that.
Yep.
We had the press out, we had schools out, we had local residents. We had about 150 people turn up at the park. Yep. And we put banners. Children made banners. It was a great event. And if you haven't seen those, I've got some pictures I can share with you and the news article as well. And
so there's a group of about 16 community organizations that are actually feeding into a plan for that development, and that's another way of just when you work together, you get more done. You can have more influence, and you experience more sense of community. So, but that's just another one of the aspects of Companions for Hope, is that we're actually all of us engaged in various community things, and want to see people develop and grow and become, I'll put it this way, become the person that God always intended them to be. And we can't do that without community. We can't do that without eating meals together, because remember the saying? Yeah. Meeting without eating is cheating. Meeting without eating is cheating. With a little help. And I feel so privileged to be a part of this community. Tammy and I both, and the friends we've made in this area. Having lived in Shirley for 21 years, we had loads of friends because of connections with school and parent association, and I was a governor for 2 different schools for 16 years. And school, when you're a parent, is a great way to get involved in the community. But what do you do when your children are grown? Our daughter just got engaged this past weekend, and she lives in America. Our son lives in America now. But how do you get to know your community? Well, when the kids are gone, you become involved with these sorts of things, and you get to know people, you get to know your community, and you get to make a meaningful contribution to your community. And whether kind of faith background or no faith background that you might have, being involved in your community is a good thing. People are experiencing real challenges, not just because of COVID, but because life throws challenges at us. And when you've got people to support you, so some of the names you mentioned, like Eva and Sam and Rosalie and Chris and so on, these are all people in the community we know.
Ali, yeah, Ali,
and
yeah.
our lives are richer because of those friends. And the list would be too long to name them all, but the kinds of groups, WhatsApp groups and other community groups we're in, you guys know who you are. Thank you for making our lives richer, and thanks for Taz for doing these sensory walks, because he's making people's lives richer, including us. And so
it's my pleasure. Thank you, and let's keep going. Let's keep together, keep the community together, keep active, keep strong in your faith, and open your doors to your neighbors. Take care of your neighbors. All the great teachings and all the great words that Tim has passed on to it today as well. So let's keep doing our bit, guys, for our community, a wonderful space that we live in here in Birmingham. I'm just going to check any messages or any comments. So Susan has put, you can do more than what you think you can do. A good mantra, thanks. So great, some great mantras. Watch this video back. We're going to save this video. It'll be on the Facebook page. I'll also download it and forward it on to Tim, so he can share it with his pages. Maybe put it on YouTube as well, so there's a greater reach. And get involved. Reach out to any of the organisations, the Active Wellbeing Society, Companions for Hope, any of the other organisations, Eat, Make, Play, Share Shack, anybody that we've mentioned today. Reach out, and do some volunteering maybe, and get involved in your community.
And if anybody out there wants to treat me to a cup of coffee, I love coffee.
well, Tim and I have just arranged that we were going to try and do a walk over at Sayhall Mill. I'm going to get him a coffee, and we're going to go for a walk down the Moseley Bog. I'm going to show him all that lovely space where I live now. So that's one kind of arrangement we've made already. And so if you guys want to meet Tim, go for a walk, learn about the area, get in touch.
Would love that. Would love that.
So guys, we're going to finish our video. I've gone over my time. I'm going to get told off now. But
my fault.
I just want to say it's been absolutely fantastic to enjoy this space and this 1 hour walk that we've done today with Tim. Thank you very much for giving up your time. Hello to Tammy and all the guys from the community. I'll see you on the next neighborhood night, hopefully on the Wednesday. And you'll see me tomorrow on Zoom, because I'm doing another walk tomorrow. So those who are watching, if you want to see Kings Heath and Highbury Park, I'm going to do a sensory walk tomorrow with my colleagues there.
Neighbour Night, first Wednesday in March. Join us for that. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, I'd love to have you. Take care. And that's Julie saying thank you, Taz and Tim. That was so interesting and uplifting. That's the idea, Julie. Just want to give you some positivity to start your day today and start this wonderful we're nearly in spring now, so new beginnings, spring as well. So take care, guys. Hope to see you on the next walk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.